hard to do, but set me free.
The beat was so fast and so great. And after singing of it, that was just a sick hiccup.
That's super sick. I can't even, like, this is actually a problem a lot of beatboxers have is pitch for the reasons we discussed, or so many techniques involve putting the tongue down and back, and that's really not good for singing unless you make some accommodations like Den does. But this so the reason I wanted to play that again is not all notes are equal. They are an equal temperament where I can, play a piano and then every half step is the same length. But if you don't have an instrument, or if you have an instrument where you can do a lot of micro tuning, you can do what's called just tuning. And that sounds so much better. Like, so much better. And so that's what he's doing, is that these vocal lines are really, really in sync with each other. And it's not like A440. He's like micro adjusting so that it's much more sonorous. And on the tail end of it, he's adding a little bit vibrato on some of the parts, which gives it a really nice ending. So I'm seeing vocal stuff that I generally don't see from beatboxers. This is super sick. Almost like a whistle register.
It's hard for you, it's hard for me. It's hard to do, but set me free.
This is really popular right now, this doming of the soft. Sorry, I'm just super nerding out. This is really cool to me.
It's hard for you.
So he's tilting his thyroid cartilage to get a little bit more depth of sound, but he's being very careful. And then he's also slightly doming the soft palate, which gives you like a just woke up out of bed kind of sound. Like there's a with soft palate totally lifted, it's hard for you, versus it's hard for you. And that's a little bit of a dramatic difference. But that's how he's getting the sound a lot more lush, without necessarily adding a lot of the power and vibrato that comes from the thyroid cartilage tilt. So he's using both to get like a really nice, warm sound. Anyway, sorry.
What do you mean when saying doming the soft palate? Because I would usually think like doming would bring it upwards.
There are three muscles in the soft palate. You have the one in the middle, and then you have one on either side. So if you dome a little bit on the sides, you're opening up a little bit of the nasal passages, but you're also like changing the actual structure of your mouth, right? Of what the sound bounces off of and that tone quality. Just as you would move your tongue, you could change vowels. By adjusting your soft palate, you can. So that's how that works. And so it's important, I think, to palette into those three parts. Does that make sense? Okay. Bands. Next one. Ooh. Oh my god. Mixing live. It's so big brain. It's so big brain.
Danny.
Yeah.
You make it hard for me. With your eyes, the best it does.
Oh man.
But you're nothing but hard to me. Think I love you too much.
That's so sick. The way that he does, what's crazy to me is how well he mixes on the fly. Like, I'm not sure if he's adjusting his reverb on the fly, but it kind of sounds like, and then like you were saying, he's got a stereo microphone, and so he pans it like that. The way that he adjusts his lips to kind of higher sounds, it's all really, really cool. So yeah, just super good. It's super good. Oh, I love that thing. So smooth.
I do just love all one take, looping over the same thing over and over, adding upon it.
This whistle thing he does is stupendous. That's really hard to do. Especially there's no one who's going to teach you that. It's not really well understood.
Nice vibrato in it as well.
Yeah, and that's super hard, right? Because you're doing what you're doing with the vocal folds and the whistle have that, like, it's like if you're whistling with your lips, right? Your folds come in and make that shape. But what makes that really difficult with vibrato is that the thyroid cartilage will tilt, pull, stretch out the vocal fold. So while they're stretched, you still need to keep a little bit of that hold, which is incredible to me. It's incredibly precise. The other thing that he's doing here with these taps, you have to keep, when you're layering this much stuff, and or you plan on using pretty much any beatbox technique, you have to be really careful with how heavy your sound is and how thick the folds are. So instead of changing pitch with like some larger muscle like the tongue or anything like that, he's keeping his folds very thin and then using and so that, especially when you aren't using a lot of muscles, really helps the attack of the note. Oh, he's so fast. His phrasing is really good. Like disco. Straight up disco.
I
That's
can't
crazy.
even say anything about it. It's just he's so good.
He builds those loops so quickly with all of this confidence, and like, man, his musical phrasing and it's just it's so good. You know, obviously the techniques are really crisp, but him as a musician, he's really on another level, like in a lot of ways. Maybe you can put Gene there, or you can put a couple of other beatboxers there, but the way he does this is very specific to him, like his stylings, his choices as an artist. Like,